Hi. Okay, so queer part two. First of all, I wanted to say thank you for the positive feedback I received from my last video. It was really hard to make, and the positive responses to it were really affirming and really helpful, and they help calm me down and give me the confidence to continue, essentially. So I'm going to continue. So where we left off was OAC. OAC. So optional academic courses. I had, how many weeks was in? It was like the first week, I think, and I had a spare, and Terry had his morning lunch, and that's when we met. And at first, it was kind of awkward because I was in that in-between stage of just having been dumped from the person I was dating online for almost a year, but what I found out around the same time was Terry. And that was kind of cool because like we could relate to the trials and tribulations that come with long-term relationships, internet relationships, how they work, the intimacy, the lack of intimacy, how it keeps going and stuff like that. And that's a whole topic for another video. But we started talking. We talked about like I said, I left off before I was interrupted by said Terry. We started talking about like our sexual experiences before we started dating. So we were really open and honest with each other, except I didn't tell him at first about my issues. I did tell him that I had problems with cheaters and that I had just gotten out of like a really fucked up relationship. Like it wasn't an abusive relationship, but it was a manipulative relationship. And by the end of it, no, not even by the end of it, like even in the days following up after it, I was still being shat on by by my ex and the person that he met and would eventually marry. And it became this whole childish vendetta with them. And to this day, they will go, like, if I look, they will go out of their way to make me feel miserable. They will always make it a point. And that's another video, but probably one I'll never make because it's just a bitter, bitter story. But anyway, we're talking about happiness here. So we talked, Terry and I as friends, we got closer, and I was at that period of my life where I'm just like, you know what? Nobody wants me. Nobody cares. And I just put my blinders on. I refused to see what was in front of me. So when it became obvious that my feelings were going towards him, I tried to hook him up with other people. I'm not proud of that. I'm really not proud of that. But it was my way to cope with my feelings. Like, I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know what I was feeling. And I didn't know how to handle it. So my response was to just push him away into somebody else. But that was torture for him because he liked me. And he was trying to make me see it while also trying to get over the fact that he had just been dumped too. I'm still getting used to having really long hair. Like this to me is really long, even though there's not a lot of it. So like, it's just really weird to have and to play with. Like you can, what do? But yeah. So we were online this was back when MSN was the default communicator. And so we talked on MSN a lot. And we also kind of got like a little frisky online. I remember one specific phone call that was kind of funny, that we were just talking naturally and stuff happened on the other end. And I thought that was most flattering. This was after we started dating, though. But before we started dating, we did talk a lot about our past experiences and our mental health and our mental journeys and our experiences with the dangers of mental health and isolation and what the hells that teenagers go through and have to live through every single fucking day. And they're just told, hey, you're a teenager, deal with it. Like, that kind of shit fucks with you. And that's what was going on. But, so anyway, I was hooking up with all these other people. Well, I was trying to. He refused. While hanging out so much with him. And one of the things that he did the most was hang out with me in my drama class during his second spare. And he became kind of like an honorary drama student that during that time, and I thought that was really cool. Like, he was even part of the year-end play. Like, he was given an honorable mention even though he didn't get a credit, which I think he deserved. But just thinking about those days, like, how naive I was and yet how obvious it was. It was just really interesting. But this isn't a video about Terry and I. This is a video about being queer. And so, to be queer, so basically Terry and I got together. After all that kerfuffle, we got together. It was like a shoujo manga, and eventually we did get together, and we're still together. We did break up once. That's another video. Or, that's not even a video. But we got back together again. And we've been together since. And we got married in 2016, and we've been married ever since. So, the thing with that, though, is that two things. Okay, so Terry looks and acts average. He's very calm, very cool. He doesn't dress or cut his hair a certain way like I do. He's not flamboyant or loud. Or he's just a really cool guy. Like, he's very chill, very calm, very relaxed. He's very chill. He's just a good kid. I say kid, but like, he's just that kind of person, you know, where you're just like, yeah, he's good. He's good people. So I remember in high school, people would insult him for being with me, and he would take it calmly, or he would just like ignore it or give the people like the finger or something like that. But it bothered me because it reminded me of how much of an outsider I was to everybody else, despite the fact that I had a boyfriend now, so they could just leave me alone. Having a boyfriend to me was like, in high school, was like the ultimate, hey, I'm normal now, leave me alone kind of move. I didn't get with Terry to be seen as straight. I got with Terry because I fell in love with a man. And that's what it was. But in my head, I'm just like, oh, I fell in love with a man, so now they can leave me alone. So they just started to attack him. And that really, really bugs me. And I look back and I think it's because of my looks, it's because I'm not photogenic, I'm not beautiful, and it was also because of the fact that around that time, I was starting to become more and more open with my queerness. And, oh yeah, and if you guys are wondering about my necklaces, they're still here, they're just longer. But, because I used to wear them up here. But, so, we graduated, I worked, he worked, he went to school, all that stuff. But throughout that time, I was just like, more and more feeling what I was and getting more comfortable in my skin despite the fact that I was with a man. And even though I had crushes on like both women and men and those betwixt or neither, which did happen, but I didn't feel what I felt for Terry, for anybody else, not even for my first love. No, like, not even she hit my heart as closely as Terry does and continues to do. And as I age, I find myself getting gayer and gayer despite loving him more and more and desiring him more and more. And like, it's weird because it's like I'm more attracted to women than I've ever been in my entire life. And yet when I look at Terry, I don't see man, even though he is man. Like, I see Terry. And that's why I call myself demisexual, because I don't fall in love. I don't want to fuck necessarily like bodies. I want to fuck people. I want to, like, if I were to fuck, I'd want them to get to know me, and I want to know them. I just basically want to marry my best friend, which I did. Luckily, I was lucky enough to do that, but it didn't stop me from being queer. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to make the entire video, was because just because I married a man, a cis man, and it's because I identify as a cis woman, does not make me any less queer. I am still gender nonconforming. Do I look like a woman, an average woman to you? If you saw me on the streets, especially with this fucking haircut, you would see me either as trans, as non-binary, or as a man. Nobody sees me as a woman. And that's fine, I get it. It used to really bother me for people not to see me as the woman that I know I am, and the woman that I will always be. But like, now it doesn't. Now I'm just like, you're pathetic and stupid, and you're only doing it to be divisive, and you're ignorant, and you don't know any better. And I guess it's a holier than thou attitude, because like, I'm the almighty queer, and I know more than the straights. You don't know life or suffering until you know queer. I know better than that. But like, it's kind of gotten me to relax a bit more about being so defensive when called a man, or called like a fag, or like a tranny, or like, you know, shit like that. Like, I get called that all the time. On Twitter, I am misidentified all the time, and it makes me laugh so hard. Just like, you fuckers think you always can tell who is trans and who is cis. And yet you throw me in and I'm just like some kind of wild card, like, what gender is this? And I kind of love it. I used to hate it, but now I kind of love it because I love ruffling the feathers of the straights, and I love ruffling the feathers of fellow cis people who claim to be open-minded, but then they just see this fucker and this fat fucking like men's and women's mixed up clothing, wearing skirts but also army boots and like with this bi-fuck haircut, and it's just like, what is this? What is this? I love it. And the like, I am the gay cousin. I am the gay one in the family, despite the fact that I'm not the only queer kid in my family. I am the quintessential gay because, well, I was older, and also because I fit the part. My other gay relative, who's actually a lesbian, she is femme as fuck. Like, she's into sports and stuff. Like, I'm not gonna say who it is because it's none of my business to out her, and I'm not outing her. I'm not going to say who it is, but like, she's a family member, and yeah, she's a lesbian, but like, she dresses, and she's like a sportsy lesbian, but like, she's like femme as fuck. She would never be caught dead wearing whatever the hell I'm wearing right now. And that's the difference. Like, she's gender conforming more or less. I'm not anymore. I used to try like the Club Monaco sweaters, which none of you got. None of you are 90s kids. I'm so angry at all of you right now. I am so disappointed. Mama's disappointed. Auntie's disappointed. But what kind of pancakes are you? But yeah, like, maybe that was just a Canadian thing. I don't know, but if any of you know what the fuck I'm talking about with the Club Monaco sweaters, please tell me so I don't feel like some kind of old fuck fart. I have about 2 minutes left, so from that journey, from being a bullied kid without knowing why, to becoming the quintessential married, fulfilled adult, with her problems, yes, but fulfilled, stable, happy adult woman that I am now. It's just light years apart, worlds apart. And I just wish I had magic. Like not the magic that I have, but like Harry Potter magic, where I could go back or find some way to contact my former self and just be like, baby, I know. And you know what? If you're in that right now, if you're that age right now, or not even that age, if you're in a period right now where people are against you and they don't get you, and it's because you're queer, or you don't even know why. They just say shit like you're ugly, you're a fag, you're stupid, you're fat, you have yellow teeth, you have shit you know. Hear what I say and hear good. It's not a cliche because it does get better. Even if it's just moving out of your house, it will get fucking better. Because I never thought I'd get this far. I'm not published. Nobody knows who I am. But I'm married to the person of my dreams. I have a home I love. My family is supporting me with the best that they can, like beyond what I thought they ever could. And especially with being so sick, all that queer and sick. It's just, that's my life right now. And I never thought I'd have the support I do, but I do. And I have to remember that. So if you need that support and you don't have that support right now, I will be your support. I will be your support because I know how painful it is to live in a world that is just so against you and everything you are, your true self, everything you believe yourself to be, is so against the grain that people wish you didn't exist. You are not alone. You do deserve to exist because you exist now. So you do deserve to live now. And I swear to God, if you need somebody to tell you that every single day, I can be that person because you deserve to live. And I wish I had someone to tell me that when I was a kid, because then I wouldn't have so many scars. And that's what I'm hoping these duet videos will do for future generations who stumble across my bullshit. To let them know that they're not alone. people go through it too, and they survive it. They survive it, even when they tried not to. I want to take the time at the end of this video to just thank a couple of specific people. If I don't mention you, it's not because I hate you or whatever, but it's just like, there's a lot of people who reached out and who are really kind. So I'm just gonna name off like a handful. Like Evergreen, Joyce, of course, Joyce. I always forget, and of course Gemma, of course you, and special to the Green Machine, who somehow always comments on my videos. I don't know why you're still subscribed after so long, but you are. But yeah, especially Evergreen, Joyce, and Gemma, or Gemma. I always fuck up your name, sweetheart. I'm sorry. I'm such a lowly Canadian. You call me Tara anytime you want. I won't correct you. It's a problem I have with the G thing. I used to call Ginny Guinea, so whatever. But yeah, especially that. I really appreciate everyone who reached out, who supported me, who took the time to ask if I was okay and stuff like that. I really appreciate it, and I love you so much. And if you need me, I'm here. And I don't want you to be in the same position that I was in, ever, where you were alone, and it just seemed like it was so much better. It would be so much better for the world if you were gone. And that's not true. And that's part of why it is. And it's just like, that was part of the video, this reason for the video. And this also, I'm sick of being told that I'm not bi because I married a man, a cis man. Like, you lose your bisexual flag rights if you marry the opposite sex, which I don't think is fair, because especially since he's not straight. So we're still not straight. We're just in a heteronormative relationship. that's what pissed me off most about a certain person's recent video, and about how biphobic it was. And it was rife with biphobia, it was like biphobia didn't exist, or if it did, it was a joke. A super fucking bi. Or like, you can't understand a full advanced womanhood unless you're a lesbian, and that's not okay. Like, it's just not right. And that was the part that was another bigger reason why I wanted to do these duet videos too, was to just prove that if you marry the opposite sex and your gender is cis or whatever, you don't lose LGBT privileges. Even if you marry somebody straight and you're not straight, you still don't lose your privileges. And it pissed me off when, just how heteronormative that video is. If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, I might as well just spill the tea now. Shame by Contrapoints pissed me off. I'm glad she's out. Maybe she'll be able to finally gain a perspective and pull her head out of her ass and see what she did to the NB and GF community with her past video bitching and selective historying. But and I hope this is a start to being, especially since she has such a shitty year. And I that's fine, but it doesn't excuse. Well, okay, a shitty year is not fine, but it doesn't excuse biphobia. It doesn't excuse rampant biphobia or heteronormity. It's just, it just really pissed me off. That's all. So that's why these videos exist, because that video exists, and also because I'm a person, I'm alive, and I have shit to say, so I gotta go. But bye. That's it. You got questions? Ask me. I'll address them in the next video.